So screen 1 we have PyCharm ID, where I'm going to explain you the code wise. Second, we have this phone right now, and the third is my repository, which is fine. And the fourth one is basically this one, which is Telegram application itself. So for now, the application is running. Yes, so you send and you'll get a reply, right? And I'm not sure why I'm getting this kind of layout. Generally it shows right and left, but fine, whatever. Yeah, better. So what difference basically it does is you do hey and you'll get a reply, right? So it's all put in the database itself, so there is no problem. I mean, my touches, come probably work. Okay, whatever. So like for example, oh, it's not good. So right now I just show you toss a coin, which is a wrong spelling, but it just get the idea. You ask for toss for a coin, right? It gives you a hit. So this is the part of NLTK. So I dropped it in NLTK. So first thing I'm sure is why you need NLTK. Okay, so sometimes you do this all stuff, but it get the idea what you're talking about. Okay, this is the best part I like about, because during chat, during typing, you do a lot of typos, so it should get been sorted out, right? So it's all done in the code. You can just clone it and use it. There's no problem there. Okay, so that is Telegram, and this is one which is working. I just did the commands and everything. It gives you head, right? So head was the output and head was sent to this. So this is just now show you how it works. Now the point is, if the device is connected and basically it just keep on working, right? Now the problem comes, it's you working on a local host, right? And if it get disconnected, the script is completely freeze RAM. It's not going to do anything, right? And even you reconnect it, you just have to restart the script itself, because it's a frozen state. It's not going to show you anything, right? You keep on typing and nothing will come up. So basically you have to do with two script. One which offline, keep on cross checking if the Wi-Fi is or the internet connection is available or not. In my case I'm using Wi-Fi, and in your case it may be mobile data or anything, or Wi-Fi only. So you can just keep on cross checking that. So your shell, oh come on man, go ahead, go down. Yeah, so what happened is you have to create a sh file. What sh file does is it will just execute one file at the end in the terminal and just keep on keep on doing the same functionality again and again. So what we have to do is we have to define your bash environment where it does located. So there is a command, you can just go ahead and run it and cross check. I'm expecting it will be the same as I have right now. Okay, and I don't think so it will change that much. You can go ahead and run it. Then what we're going to do is basically it's a for loop which doesn't have any condition. It's an infinite loop, right? And what you're going to do is do, and your Python 3, so you're going to run first script which is checking if the internet connection is available or not, and the second file is basically the Telegram file which going to look for the upcoming events and work on it, right? So I'm going to explain you open URL first. So it's really easy, it's a very normal thing. So we have two ways to connect it. First is generally if you go on Google and search for Python script to check for internet availability, they will give you a socket option. So now be sure you're working on localhost. Every socket is actually kind of online. Okay, so even if you're offline, it will show you online. So in case of Termix especially, it will not work. And it will not work. Why? Because I've tried it and it doesn't. So basically it will not work. Okay, there is nothing wrong in the coding, because the same script, if I run on Ubuntu machine, it will give me the proper results, but in localhost it will not. And basically it's because of the sockets. It makes sense also. Okay, now the second part is how we're going to check then. So basically I just open the URL, hit for the google.com. if I get the bit, so what URL, so this is Python 3.6, yeah, 3.6 we are working on. So this is it doesn't support URL lib2, it have URL lib.request. So if you have any script from Python 2, 0.7, right? It will say that URL lib2, and then you just do URL lib2 dot URL open and all that. So you just have to make it URL dot request. That will work for you. They just depreciated URL lib2. I'm not sure why. I don't get into that much. So once you import this package and everything, URL lib is a default one. There's no need to do pip3 and all that stuff. This is again the system path file. So why I need every time this is just define if you're going to import, like for this example, you're going to import other two files, right? It's better if you define the path of those files, so it get the file path automatically and import it. If you don't do it, terminal will say this module doesn't exist or that module doesn't exist. So this is a fix for that one. Okay, the complete description for this one I have created a video. You can go ahead to channel and find it out. You'll get it. Okay, now the second part is we're going to define one function which is looking for just open URL, and once you open the URL, you do x.read, you'll get a response. So it will be a byte type of response, and that response have lot of HTML code and everything. If the internet is working fine, right, you'll get the basically HTML code back as a response. So in that case, if there is no internet, you'll get a response like this, byte, and the string is completely empty. So basically we look for that. If the response is basically byte and it's completely empty, we'll return fail, that the internet is not, means the internet is not there. And in case if it has it or it's not equal to this, basically some response is there, so you just going to reply pass. We are covering a lot of exception here, that's why there is gray in the line there, but it's like if it fails, then just give me exception, and it again reply fails itself. Okay, so why that is, it just keep on running, right? I just don't want to stop the script unless it gives me a pass. Okay, so what happened now is this will actually cover up, like you open the URL, the internet is there, but the speed it's too low that you got timeout, error or anything. That will also be marked as fail. Okay, so the plus bar is there, right? So that's why it's needed. Now we're going to create another function which says I'm just checking the status. So what it does is it calls the open URL and store the return type and status, and what it does is basically status equals to fail. If while status is fail, just keep on getting the status and keep on cross checking and just keep printing whatever its status is. Okay, so you'll get a lot of fail, which is here, fail, right? And once that is passed, what you're going to do is basically print calling Shana and anything that whatever you like it, and you just print it. Okay, and in case you get an exception, just print the exception and stop the script. It will try to call this script next, because once this is done, like I didn't give any proper thing that once it's passed, it will show pass at one time, and then it says calling Shana, and then the Telegram application will start, right? So once they are calling Shana, that this line is executed, it just run out of the script, right? So it will go for next line of the sh file, which is calling the Python script, and in that Python script we are just calling this entire script, right? Okay, so if you talk about this script, this is a very common, and it's available on Telethon documentation as well. There are three files basically. This is one file which is looking for events only. Okay, in that events I have segregated. I'm going to segregate more. So basically if it is just Shana, just get from the database value and send it back. So this is specifically for this word. Now I am changing anything that you type, I'm just changing it to lowercase. Okay, so I do capital S and I type this, I'll get the same response. I'll type this, I'll get the same response. Obviously I'm get a different response, but it will be different, right? Hey, what about the response? RDB says nothing. Okay, there is a space. Okay, my bad. Let's send it again. Howdy. Okay. Okay. Once that event is, it just keep on looking for, it's a asynchronous function. It will keep looking for any new event or any new message that comes. So event is basically the message that will come. It will create an event. So for a simple string, which is just Shana is there, and it's equal, not contained, so specifically Shana, only Shana is there. So then basically you just call me. So I'm just looking for it, so it prints that sending direct response to database as you just call me. Okay, and once that is done, you just get a response from database, a random one, and just you gotta reply there as it is. And in case you type something else, so for example, toss a coin, right, you get a hit, right? So what it says is, oh, it seems like a command. Let me check the proper response. So basically it says it seems to be a command, and let me check the proper response, right? So why I did if and else first is you have to segments, right? You have to use your imagination and segment the inputs that has a possibility to come. If you segment them well, the less DB functionality, less running here and there will be there. Okay, so just have to be working on that. Okay, so this is two functions. That's why I did if and else. There will be a lot of else if also if while I keep on improving the functionality for this one. And then we're just going to call client start and run until disconnected. Okay, so what happened is just started, then even your internet connection goes down, it will just check a couple of times to reconnect, and if that reconnect doesn't fall, so it says this is disconnected, so run until disconnect, and once it's disconnected, just stop the script, right? So once that happens, what will happen is it will say no, it's not done because there is no condition. It will go again, open url.py and cross check if the Wi-Fi is available or not, and then it's still gonna run again. Okay, so that happens. Now there is one thing, if you do auto reconnect, right? So like for example, there's a small fluctuation, right? Either what happened with me is I disconnect from my home Wi-Fi, and then there's a mobile hotspot, the primary cell phone which I have, which I use as an internet hotspot or hotspot. So that hotspot, this mobile get connected to that hotspot, right? So there's a very tiny gap of connection, disconnection, and connection, reconnection, right? So during that, if I don't put auto reconnect false, the script will freeze because it says okay, I'm not getting for a second it will say okay, there is no internet connection. It looks back, and but Termix says I'm not connected for this script, right? So even this script will try to cross check if the internet connection is there and try to get responses or look for the new events. The Termix will not allow to do it. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to mention just for Termix. Okay, if you're running on a system, don't do it. It doesn't need it. Okay, it's better if you just leave it like this. You don't have to define anything here. I think the default is true only, so it will reconnect and your script will be running. Okay, but Termix is not as that powerful as you think, so just put it as auto reconnect equals to false. It is already there, so if you want to do test and if and buts for this, yep, go ahead, do it, but as per my recommendation, you just stop it. Just put it auto reconnect equals to false, so that it will stop. It will not try to reconnect, and it will just say okay, I'm disconnected. It will jump out and it will cross check again. It will say open URL, just cross check. Once the Wi-Fi is available, just call me back. Okay, so this is how it is working. So I'll show you. I'll just demonstrate you now. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to disconnect for now. I just show you, right, that it's looking for the events and everything, right? So what I'm going to do is just disconnect it. So once it's disconnected, it says connection timeout once. Okay, now auto reconnect is basically fail, so it's not going to do it again, and it just keep on printing fail. So this is basically a loop going up for a long time. Okay, and now I'm going to reconnect it. So I didn't even wait for a minute, right? I'm just reconnecting again, hand to hand. So I want that script to get disconnected and fail Okay, so this fail will keep on running. Now there is a tiny waste of time here, so that is completely dependent on my phone. So my phone doesn't have that much of big RAM and everything, so maybe if you're using a better phone, so yeah, that's like, this is all machine issues. Okay, it's not script issues, there's no internet issue, there's no Tomix issue, this is basically your hardware device issue. Okay, so right now it's going to take time. It says inside status is still pass, and once that is print, it will call China and we'll start the script again. Okay, so I've been already running this script. I'm not even sure it will show me or not. Yeah, there is a limit for showing the running commands or outputs on the Tomix, but this is how it works. So what you have to do, the same way I've shown you how to install packages, you just have to change the mode for that file, that sh file, start here sh file, and just run it. So it will take care for all this exception, failures and everything, right? So meanwhile let's continue and show you and ready for it. I'll explain you how it's working. So this two I explained already, that it's looking for typical string this, otherwise all is command. Then it goes to basically remove punctuation. So whatever string you are passing it to the lowercase, it will pass to this punctuation. It goes to punctuation section, and in punctuation section I have all my functionality available. Okay, so the first thing is I'm going to remove any comma, lot of dots, semicolon and everything, guys. This is expression settings, right? Once you type and do a lot of dots, comma, semicolon, exclamation mark and all this you do to define more of expression, right? And we don't want to do it with expression because I want to short my data, right? I'm going to look for specific words, specific keywords, and give you the response according to that, right? I'm not into your conversation. Basically this is more about functionality, right? So what we do is we remove any punctuation marks which we have, and then we look for typical things. So like it gives you meanings. So if you type meanings or anything, like sometimes typo is there but that's a correct word, right? So that happens. So you have to be very good with your imagination in that section. So like it gives you meanings for the words, it gives you jokes and synonyms, antonyms, right? Antonyms came, and then we're going to look for the movie with the keywords, and the keywords will be you say search internet for typical movie or something. So you have to be very sure what keywords will be there. So like for example, you do Wikipedia search, right? So do wiki search for this guy. So you do Wikipedia, you type wiki sometime, because I call Wikipedia as wiki. I'm not going to call it completely. Why? Then it's a Google search. So if you think to Google something, so it says do a Google search for this keyword, right? So that is how it works. So this is all the functionality, and now this is all else if. Okay, and this is the functions that we're going to use it for functionality. Okay, so recently I think the last one was the toss, right? Toss a coin, right? Toss a coin, basically our head tail and head tail. So I just increase the possibility of mixing it up, giving capital and small, doesn't matter. So it will just pick the random choice and send it and return it on the chat, right? So this is all functionalities there. Okay, so it says so pass you see two responses. Don't consider there's a two session running on the same time. If that happens, your response, like for example, if that happens, what happens is I type something, toss a coin, right? Head, and then it will reply for head automatically because two sessions are looking for, right? So that will not happen. This is just Tomix. It's showing, I'm not sure why. So now it says ready to listen for the events, right? So now I'll say hey, and I'll get a response, hello, how are you? Okay, so it's working, and I didn't touch Tomix, right? I disconnected and I just reconnected, and it works automatically. So it's better you have this sh file running, and if it is running, you move from one network to another network. We just sure that your phone is connected to a network, and even if it is not connected to the network, all you're going to get is fail on this script. So if you want response from Telegram, you have to connect it with the internet. That is very basic, you have to understand that. Okay, so this is all. Okay, so response goes to remove function, and if there is a functionality out of it, that's fine, so it will do all this else if, and if nothing happens, we're just going to pass the data to pass the string to database file. So we have a database here. Okay, so Shana for tele, so tele is telegram, and it just look for cursors, and there is a lot of response stored for one request. And what we do is we split with this OR symbol or pipe symbol, you call it, and then we get a random response every time, right? So for example, hey, I'm not sure, it will give you, so for example, hey, it was hello, how are you. If I type hey again, hi, how are you, and hey again, so it's howdy. So these are OR response in the single string with OR pipes. We get every time random run. Okay, same way we have a toss and everything. Okay, so this is how it works, and this is how you can actually use your old phone to improve or do something with it. So it's a chatbot, and you can do a lot of stuff with that. It's not just this much, there's a lot. You can add up emojis. So right now I'll try to work on emoji, so that you people use a lot of emoji on chat. So I'm going to detect if there is an emoji in the chat or not. If it is there, then reply according to that emoji, and in case that emoji is not there, or it looks for like you need to create some to-do list, so that also you can create. So like you just type and says I'm going to look for a to-do list, so it's going to give you the to-do list, and if you says add this to my list, so it will add that to the list. You can use Wunderlist, so that you have an app also to work on it, okay, to improve it. And in case you want it totally, so you can just create a database and table in that, and just use that table itself. Then you can make random card games also. So you have to create a web app and just call that one sentence is there. So there are a lot of information, a lot of things that you can do. Okay, so this is all, and I'll just keep on adding more videos on this playlist once I'll keep on starting with more functionality. So I'm going to start a series to explain all this functionality, all the functions that I have done in this one by one, so that in case you need to know, or in case your code is not working, you can just open the code and try to understand how the functionality I have added. Maybe time to time it get changes, Python depreciates some packages and on, so you can go ahead and keep the pace up, and you can just remove that functionality even if you want, and how I've integrated. So all that will be explained in coming different videos. So I'll try to create those videos. Haven't created yet, I'm not working on it. So once that is done, I'll try to update the description of these recordings, or at least this playlist, and you can just go ahead. The last thing I'll say in this recording is you can always go to my blog for consolidated data. There are already 4 to 5 topics that I have worked on, and they're already on my blog, so it will be all in one. And I try to type as much as I can, but I'm not that much typing person. I'm more into typing the codes, so spare me with that. But you can go to my blog and just get the details there at Seville, and you guys can contact me whenever you want. Emails, Hangout, and Telegram. Yeah, so go ahead. Thank you.